Sonia Doubell, and we are at Try Yoga in London with Catherine Graves. And Catherine is a hypnobirthing expert, and today we are going to uncover exactly what hypnobirthing is, how it can help you to have a really beautiful, calm pregnancy, birth, and baby. Hi, Catherine.
It's so lovely to be here with you today. Obviously, this is a very present thing for me right now, being pregnant and doing your workshop. So I'm 6 months into it, I'm very excited, and when I found you, everything changed. So I wanted to share this with everybody. And let's just begin. What exactly, for those of you who don't know, what exactly is hypnobirthing?
It has evolved, obviously, it didn't just appear out of the blue, from work in the past.
Yeah.
And the first person was probably Grantley Reed, an English obstetrician who worked in the first half of the last century and came up with the premise that fear causes tension, which causes pain because your muscles aren't working properly, which was a revolutionary premise at the time, and he was almost drummed out of the profession for saying it. But he taught the women that he cared for about birth, he gave them confidence, and as a result, he had wonderful results. And it's evolved since then. There's been relaxation and breathing around for a long time, but hypnobirthing takes it a great deal further. The work to release fears is enormously important because we're all, from birth, programmed with the idea that birth is painful, that it's an appalling experience.
Absolutely.
And the minute you're pregnant, you get the horror stories,
You
don't
do.
you?
Oh my God, you get all of them.
Yeah.
You're from your grandmother down to your girlfriend who just had a baby, you get the whole lot. And it's never beautiful. It's never the good story. Very often with, you have these kind of programmed belief systems that sit at the subconscious level. And so even if on a conscious level, for example, you tell me, no, actually birth is beautiful, pregnancy is lovely. And as an adult, with my adult mind in, conscious operation, I'm like, yeah, I can get that. We're beautiful goddesses. That's what we're meant to do.
And you're looking forward to having a baby.
Yes,
of course.
But subconsciously, I haven't got congruency there yet. And so hypnobirthing helps you to kind of get the conscious and the subconscious to mirror each other.
That's a good way of looking at it.
Yeah.
Because we also hear about women, possibly in what we wrongly call underdeveloped countries, who will be working in the fields, go off for half an hour, have a baby, come back and work. And we think, wow, isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
But if one woman can do it, a woman's body is made in such a way that it can be done, and any woman can do it.
Yeah.
And really, when we hear of a difficult birth, we should be saying, wow, isn't that odd? Something's gone wrong here. And the other should be the norm.
Yes.
But we put ourselves mentally and physically in completely the wrong situation.
What about some of these ideas that people have about hypnosis and being in some... when I told a girlfriend of mine, I'm doing hypnobirthing with Catherine Graves, she went, oh, you are funny. You're a funny one, aren't you? Because she thought that I was going to go into a trance while I was having a baby. Could you just uncover that? Because it really isn't.
No, it isn't.
It's we're not tranced out.
I wish we didn't have the word hypno attached to the birthing bit in a way. It sounds as if we're sort of tree-hugging hippies and we're all going to sit on beanbags and chant.
And be in some kind of hypnotic trance.
Yes. No, it is simply using words to let go of the negatives in our lives. It is simple, logical, and profound. Yeah. Far more logical than a great many things that are done routinely in hospitals without a great deal of research. And it is. It's that simple.
Yes.
Kipling said words are the most powerful drug known to man. It's absolutely spot on.
Oh, that is so true.
You can make or break a friendship for life with a little phrase in the wrong place.
Absolutely. So, Catherine is also a doula, and I know that I wasn't totally okay with what doula means. What does a doula mean?
A doula is trained to be with a woman giving birth. She's not medically qualified, but she has done training to know how to support a woman and her husband or partner, to give her confidence, practical things like sort of backstroking and providing chocolate biscuits.
That's good.
Yes, maybe being there if the father needs to maybe have a rest for an hour or two in the middle of the night, have a greater understanding of the implications of the medical interventions that are proposed, and maybe be able to talk them through, not to advise, but just has a wider view of it. And many people find it extremely comforting to have a doula there. I sometimes feel that the father's there to give the mother confidence, and the doula's there to give the father confidence.
The father's not always convinced by, the first-time mother's knowledge. The doula would come in and go, no, this is, this is a good way. I also think having a second voice around helps,
Somebody to act as a sounding board. If an intervention is suggested, then they can sort of, when the midwife's gone away, they can just have a little chat between themselves. Yeah. Not that she can give medical advice, but just have somebody to bounce ideas on.
Yeah, it's really beautiful.
Used to the situation. It's really a role which in the past midwives would have played, but midwives these days are so busy, highly technically qualified. People underestimate the technical medical knowledge.
I didn't realise. I thought having a birth with a midwife was almost like you were underprivileged. That's what you did, because that is what I was given. The way that society is now portrayed is almost as though if this is the cool status symbol to go to your consultant, book your C-section, and have your lunch with the girls before, and that's portrayed as oh, well, she was having champagne and then she checked into hospital and she had the baby an hour later and, voila. And it really is portrayed like that.
I'm always talking about a low-risk case.
Yeah.
Please be absolutely clear that cesareans are wonderful and they save lives.
Yeah.
Maybe 2%, 5% of the time.
Yeah.
But in this country, 30% of births are by cesarean section. And I do not believe that 1 in 3 women can't give birth.
30% of births are by C-section.
It's certainly worse for the mother, probably for the baby, and in the right circumstances it saves lives, so we can be really grateful they're available, but not to that extent.
But not to 30%. Even at the moment, I know that medical protocol is different all around the world, but in England it does seem as though there is a definite lean towards women having hospital births.
I think it's actually the time's beginning to turn.
Well, in the olden days, there was this saying, may God never take you from your home when you're having your baby. Yes, and it was like your blessing is to be in your home when you're having your baby, and only in this case that perhaps something was needed of an intervention because there's really something difficult, then, you would be taken from your home.
I mean, we can be so grateful because facilities are there should we need them.
Yes.
But we're very much less likely to need them if we're at home in our own space. It should be the default option.
It should be, but it's not. And this is
it's growing.
And that's why you're here. And Catherine is, I'm doing the workshop now, and I have to say that first-hand experience from not knowing, from being a little bit blind, knowing how one gets pregnant, but not knowing anything else about it. And then feeling just sort of the Hollywood ideas of what pregnancy is, and the screens of Persian and crazy faces, and that's the image that I think a lot of women have. And if all of that is not dispelled from you, that is what you'll manifest in your childbirth, because that's all you know. And so we all know the power of the mind and how we manifest whatever we think, and if that imagery stays with you and you don't kind of reboot the programs, and really get to know the truth. We are made to have beautiful births. It's a wonderful experience. And so I've had to kind of relearn everything, and it's been a gift. In Catherine's workshops, we work with this amazing manual that you put together. The book is being published very soon, but what I really love about it is that it's not just about HypnoBirthing with beautiful scripts. It's about everything a woman needs to know about pregnancy. So what is a doula, what is a midwife, and what are your birth options? I love that. What made you incorporate all that information into this workshop and book? And it wasn't just about HypnoBirthing. Where did you see the gap?
Well, when I started to teach, it didn't have all that in. But I saw wonderful reports of birth and HypnoBirthing, but some of them were not so good. And it was so often a woman would say, if only I'd known, I wouldn't have made that decision. I wouldn't have agreed to that. So she needs more information, not to dispute medical advice, that would be stupid, but to ask questions and make sure that that advice is right for her, rather than just the conveyor belt of what's generally done.
Yeah.
It's really, really important for her. And also, at a hypnobirthing class, there are fathers as well. And everything we do is a life skill, in this circumstance slanted towards birth, but fathers can slant towards, the presentation to the board next week.
Absolutely. It's made a really big difference for me and my partner, and I can certainly see everybody else. People have been here for the second time for their second baby, even having done the first workshop, because they just wanted to kind of go over things again. So it's
a full antenatal training, isn't it?
Full
it's not
antenatal
just
training.
a few techniques which will get you into this odd space that state.
No,
it's a full antenatal
it's a full antenatal training, which I really highly recommend. So for everybody who is, and what about people that live abroad? Are they able to kind of contact you, and is there any way that they could?
They can get the book and CD from me.
Yeah.
And my next project, once the book has been published, I shall do some sort of webinar, web-based program, so that people can access it as well.
Okay, so that's really great. So for everybody in the States or wherever you are around the world, a webinar seminar is going to be around very shortly, and the book's coming out, so you can get the book and you can get the CD. And for those of you who are lucky enough to be here in the UK, go to the hypnobirthingcentre.co.uk, and you can find out all about where to join a workshop and have a beautiful pregnancy